Bruce Willis's guns didn't just define his characters, they changed action cinema forever. One of them even costed him permanent hearing loss. While other actors treated firearms as interchangeable props, Willis turned each weapon into a character extension. Some sparked real-world sales booms, others required custom modifications for his left-handed grip. A few defied physics entirely. Today, we're breaking down the 10 legendary firearms that made Bruce Willis an action icon. If you can't guess our number one gun, you don't know Die Hard. Stay tuned. Next, number 10. Smith & Wesson Model 19, the Last Boy Scout. Number 10. A Smith & Wesson Model 19 with a snub-nose barrel, the gritty backup piece from the Last Boy Scout. Introduced in 1957 on Smith & Wesson's K-frame, the Model 19 was designed to give officers a lighter revolver that could still handle the powerful .357 Magnum round. This choice shows Joe Hallenbeck is a man who knows what works. A washed-up detective carrying cop standard iron, even as a private investigator. It speaks to a past in law enforcement and a present defined by getting the job done with what you've got. Here's what most viewers missed. The Model 19 was a favorite backup weapon among real LAPD detectives during the 1980s. Carrying this gun gave Hallenbeck authentic cop credibility without a badge. Chambered in .357 Magnum, it can also fire .38 Special for lighter recoil. This revolver holds 6 rounds with a 2.5-inch barrel. Willis's version featured Patchmere compact grips to help absorb that Magnum kick. On screen, it reads as blue-collar firepower, a perfect match for Willis's character. One scene made this gun unforgettable. Hallenbeck uses a children's puppet to distract thugs before unloading his revolver. Later, he dual wields it alongside a Desert Eagle during a moving car shootout. A beat-up cop with a beat-up gun, both still getting the job done. Original Smith & Wesson Model 19S in good condition sell for $600 to $1,200, while snub-nose variants command slightly higher prices. Next, number 9. MAC-10, Suppressed, Pulp Fiction. Number 9. The Suppressed MAC-10, the brutal revenge tool from Pulp Fiction's most uncomfortable basement scene. Developed by Gordon Ingram in 1964 for the Military Armament Corporation, the MAC-10 was designed as a compact submachine gun for close-quarters combat. Its telescoping bolt design keeps the weapon incredibly short, and the threaded barrel accepts suppressors like the Psionics 2-stage model seen in the film. The suppressor actually served a practical filming purpose. It made the MAC-10 controllable enough to use in that cramped basement set. Without it, the muzzle flash and noise would have overwhelmed the small space. The surprising truth. Firearms experts have called the MAC-10 fit only for phone booth combat due to its terrible accuracy. But for Butch Coolidge's brutal close-range payback against Maynard, it worked perfectly. Produced from 1970 to 1973, this 9x19mm Parabellum submachine gun fires at a cyclic rate of about 1,100 rounds per minute. The whole gun weighs around 6.3 pounds loaded, with a 30-round magazine capacity. On screen, its reputation as a bullet hose made the revenge feel appropriately violent. Tarantino knew exactly what he was doing when he put this weapon in that scene. Transferable MAC-10s command $8,000 to $12,000, while semi-auto civilian variants run $500 to $800. Next, number 8. Para 1911 GI Expert, Red. Number 8. The Para 1911 GI Expert. The classic .45 that announced Frank Moses was still deadly in red. The 1911 platform goes back over a century to John Browning's original design, adopted by the U.S. Army in 1911 and updated in 1924 with the M1911A1 variant. This choice was deliberate visual storytelling, an old-school weapon for an old-school killer. Frank Moses is a retired CIA Black Ops agent, and his choice of a century-old design immediately tells the audience this man has roots in an earlier, more dangerous era. Here's the catch. Willis fires well over 16 rounds without reloading once during the home defense sequence. The real gun would need multiple magazine changes, but filmmakers ignored capacity because the classic 1911 silhouette against modern tactical threats just looked too good. The Para-Ordnance version features an ambidextrous safety, critical for a left-handed shooter like Willis. Chambered in .45 ACP, it holds 7+1 rounds and weighs about 2.4 pounds loaded. On screen, it became visual shorthand for Moses's outdated but deadly skill set. Willis proved he could still anchor action comedies in his 50s, and the 1911 became his character's calling card. Para 1911 GI Expert pistols retail for $600 to $900, reflecting their blend of classic design and modern reliability. Don't miss number 1. It'll have you yelling yippee-ki-yay and remembering Nakatomi Plaza. Next, number 7. Beretta 84 FS Cheetah Suppressed, a compact suppressed pistol for Willis's rare villain turn in the Jackal. This compact pistol comes from Beretta's 80 series, introduced in 1976, running on simple blowback operation that makes it reliable with suppressors. The 380 ACP caliber is smaller than 9mm, but the trade-off is a more concealable package, perfect for a master assassin who constantly changes identity. Some firearms experts criticize 380 ACP for lacking stopping power compared to larger calibers, but for the Jackal's purposes, it made tactical sense. His assassinations are surgical and precise. One shot, close range, no witnesses. He doesn't need a hand cannon. He needs something quiet, controllable, and easy to hide. The 84 FS holds 13 rounds in its magazine, weighs about 1.4 pounds empty, and has a barrel just under 4 inches long. On screen, its understated profile reflected the character's methodical approach. No showmanship, just efficiency. Willis played the role with cold precision, and the compact Beretta matched that energy perfectly. Beretta 84 FS Cheetah pistols sell for $700 to $1,000 new, with used examples running $450 to $650. Next, number 6. Beretta 93R Prop Mock-Up, Sin City. Number 6. A Beretta 92 FS mocked up to resemble the rare 93R, Detective Hardigan's weapon in Sin City's Black and White Nightmare. The real 93R was a select fire variant developed for Italian Special Forces between 1977 and 1979, capable of 3-round bursts at 700 rounds per minute. The 93R featured a folding foregrip and stock for control during automatic fire. Production ended in 1993, and genuine examples are extremely rare. Sin City's version stripped away those extra features for a sleeker noir aesthetic while keeping the extended 20-round magazine. Here's the artistic choice. The burst fire capability, even as just a prop effect, added visual punch to the Rourke Farm rescue sequence. The gun appears in harsh black and white cinematography that makes it look almost like a graphic novel illustration come to life. Willis adapted beautifully to the film's stylized, non-realistic action, dual-wielding the Beretta alongside a Ruger Blackhawk revolver. Sin City proved Willis could work outside the grounded action movies that built his career. The gun became part of that graphic novel visual language, almost abstract in its presentation. Original Beretta 93R pistols are extremely rare, with transferable examples commanding $15,000 to $25,000 when they surface. We've covered Willis's evolution from revolvers to suppressed pistols, from cop dramas to comic book adaptations. Up next, the Sig that replaced an icon, the massive seal sidearm from Jungle Warfare, the hand cannon from the future, the dual-wielded Prohibition pistols, and the #1 gun that caused permanent hearing damage and changed Hollywood's safety forever. You don't want to miss this. Next, number 5, Sig Sauer P220R. Live free or die hard. Number 5. The Sig Sauer P220R, the pistol that finally retired John McClane's signature Beretta after 19 years. Developed in 1975 as a joint project between Swiss firm Sig and German manufacturer Sauer, the P220 was adopted by the Swiss Army as the P75. This switch mirrored real-world law enforcement trends. Many agencies moved to .45 caliber handguns during the 2000s, prioritizing knockdown power over magazine capacity. McClane making the same transition felt natural for the character. Same cop, different era, updated toolkit. The P220R holds 8+1 rounds of .45 ACP, down from the Beretta's 15 rounds of 9mm. The trade-off is more stopping power per shot. The R variant adds a Picatinny rail for mounting lights and lasers. It uses a double-action, single-action trigger system with a decocker instead of a manual safety, weighing about 1.9 pounds empty. Audiences who had watched McClane for 2 decades could feel the evolution. The P220R accompanied him through cyber-terrorist chases, apartment shootouts, and the power plant finale. It handled everything McClane threw at it. Sig Sauer P220R pistols. Retail for $1,000 to $1,200 new, with used examples running $700 to $900. Next, number 4. Heckler & Koch Mark 23, Tears of the Sun. Number 4. The Heckler & Koch Mark 23, the massive seal sidearm from Tears of the Sun. Development started in 1991, when U.S. SOCOM issued requirements for the Offensive Handgun Weapon System program. Heckler & Koch won the contract, and the Mark 23 exceeded all testing benchmarks, surviving over 6,000 rounds between stoppages during trials. This pistol was designed specifically for Special Operations Forces, and the military adopted it in 1996. Specifications include a 45 ACP chambering, 12+1 round capacity, a 5.87-inch threaded barrel for suppressors, and a match-grade trigger. The whole package weighs 2.6 pounds empty, making it the largest service pistol ever officially issued by the U.S. military. Willis has big hands, and the Mark 23 still looks substantial on screen. This film introduced mainstream audiences to what special operations sidearms actually looked like, far removed from the compact pistols civilians typically carry. Here's the military reality. Real-world adoption of the Mark 23 slowed because operators found it too bulky for everyday use, but its durability and accuracy remain legendary. Tears of the Sun gave it proper cinematic showcase through jungle operations, village engagements, and night extractions. Heckler & Koch Mark 23 pistols retail for $2,200 to $2,500 new, reflecting their military pedigree and legendary durability. Next, number 3, Magnum Research BFR Looper. Number 3, the Magnum Research BFR, one of the most powerful handguns Willis ever carried on screen. The name stands for Biggest Finest Revolver, and the manufacturer means it literally. The BFR is a stainless steel single-action revolver built to handle rifle calibers in a handgun platform. Old Joe's version chambers .45-70 Government, a cartridge originally designed in 1873 for the Springfield trapdoor rifle. Putting that round in a revolver creates legendary recoil, approximately 2,500 foot-pounds of muzzle energy compared to roughly 400 foot-pounds from a standard 9mm. Looper blends science fiction with Western aesthetics, and the BFR fit that fusion perfectly. Old Joe came from a future with advanced technology, but he chose an analog weapon of almost absurd power. The visual contrast between this massive revolver and the sleek futuristic world made every scene with the BFR memorable. The cylinder holds 5 rounds, and the 7.5-inch barrel adds enough weight to make the gun controllable. Barely. The whole revolver weighs between 3.5 and 5.3 pounds, depending on configuration. Willis carried this hand cannon through diner confrontations and time loop shootouts, its oversized frame dwarfing every other handgun on screen. Magnum Research BFR revolvers and .45-70 Government retail for $1,200 to $1,500 new. Next, number 2, Twin Colt M1911A1 pistols, last man standing. Number 2, Twin Colt M1911A1 pistols with pearl diamond checkered grips. The Prohibition-era showpieces from Last Man Standing. This 1996 film is a remake of the classic samurai film Yojimbo, with Willis as John Smith, a drifter who walks into a war between two gangs. The M1911A1 dates back to Browning's original design, updated in 1924 with improved ergonomics. Willis's pair had extended slide releases so he could manipulate them with his trigger finger while dual-wielding. He carried them in cross-draw shoulder holsters, drawing both simultaneously for synchronized shootouts. Here's the production secret. The film completely ignored magazine capacity. Willis fires 30 to 40 rounds per gun during action sequences without reloading. Each 1911 would actually need at least 4 magazine changes to match what he shoots on screen. Nobody cared because the choreography was incredible. One scene shows Smith reloading both pistols while sitting on the edge of a bathtub between firefights. The pearl grips catching the light, the cross-draw motion, the perfectly timed dual fire. Last Man Standing turned pistol work into pure dance. The Prohibition setting justified the excessive style. Gangsters in the 1930s loved flashy weapons, and dual-wielded 1911s became a permanent action movie trope partly because of this film. Each pistol fires 45 ACP, holds 7+1 rounds, and features a 5-inch barrel. Vintage Colt M1911A1 pistols from this era sell for $1,500 to $3,500, while modern reproductions run $800 to $1,200. Next, number 1. Beretta 92 FS, Die Hard series. Number 1. The Beretta 92 FS, the gun most people picture when they think of Bruce Willis. Spanning 5 films from 1988 to 2013, John McClane carries this pistol through every major firefight of the franchise. He tapes it to his back, uses it to shoot out glass, fires it one-handed while injured, and makes it an extension of his sarcastic, indestructible personality. The Beretta 92 series was designed in 1975 at Beretta's factory in Italy, incorporating design elements from the Walther P-38's locking block system. The U.S. military adopted the 92F variant as the M9 in 1985, after it won standardization trials for its reliability and 15-round capacity. Over 3.5 million have been manufactured. Most fans don't know this. Willis's screen-used Beretta had extended magazine release and slide stop modifications for his left-handed grip. The same prop appeared in Lethal Weapon the year before Die Hard, making it one of the most famous movie guns ever built. Here's the price Willis paid. The under-the-table execution scene in the first film, blanks in an enclosed space with no ear protection, caused him permanent partial hearing loss in his left ear. That injury became a cautionary tale across Hollywood. Modern productions now use better blank loads, improved sound dampening, and custom molded ear protection. The cultural impact went beyond Willis himself. After Die Hard premiered, Beretta's Maryland factory couldn't keep up with civilian demand. The Italian company had to increase production significantly just to meet American orders. The Beretta 92 was already standard military issue, but Die Hard cemented its place in American gun culture. Specifications include 9x19mm parabellum chambering, short recoil operation, double action, single action trigger, and an open slide design that helps clear jams. The gun weighs about 2.1 pounds loaded with its 15+1 capacity. McClane's relationship with that pistol across 5 films and 25 years created the deepest character-to-weapon bond in action movie history. New Beretta 92 FS pistols retail for $650 to $800, while vintage examples from the Die Hard era command $900 to $1,400. These 10 firearms tell a single story. Bruce Willis's weapons were never accidental. They completed the performance. From the gritty snub nose of a washed-up detective to the legendary Beretta that cost him his hearing, each firearm was a deliberate choice that reflected character, era, and stakes. This commitment to authenticity, and sometimes pure style, is what separates a good action star from an iconic one. The hearing damage from Die Hard became a wake-up call for the industry. Modern productions add gunfire in post-production rather than relying on full-power blanks in enclosed spaces. Willis paid the price so future actors wouldn't have to. 4 decades, 1 actor, and the firearms that made him an action legend. When an actor commits to the weapon, the audience believes in the character. That's the Willis difference. Which Bruce Willis gun surprised you most? Drop a comment, like if you learned something, and subscribe for more deep dives into action cinema's most iconic weapons.